Hi. I'm sorry about the light. I don't have another light bulb. Well, I don't have the energy, let's just put it that way, to put another light bulb and my ceiling fan above me. But I wanted to sit on the couch because I've been up since 4 in the morning. I took a short nap and I'm just going to stay on up and go back to work at 4 in the morning. So I wanted to do a video about the 5G and try to explain it to you the best I can. So my interpretation of the 5G is you have different levels. Right now we're living in the 3G. And with this 3G, everything affects us. We stay angry, we stay depressed, we're all about the me. We're all working hard, thinking that we actually need all of this money to survive, and we've forgotten who we are because we're in this matrix. If you've ever seen the movie The Matrix, then you kind of understand what I'm saying. Now, with this, let me explain something else. I used to think, and I used to talk about this all the time when I worked in the casino, that a lot of this stuff started back when Abraham had his first child from his wife's slave. And then when he had his son, he shunned the slave and her son out. And this is kind of where you get a battle. But what I didn't realize that it actually goes farther back to Cain and Abel. So if you've watched some of my other videos that I continuously post of other people, they explain this better than I will. And if you haven't, please go on my Facebook page and look at these videos that I have put on there, and it will more explain what is going on. So I'm trying to figure out how to kind of do this to explain. It's really deep, and it's hard to, when I'm talking on my cell phone, because I hate the typing. My cell phone's so small and the buttons are small, and you get to where you hit something wrong, then you try to back up, and then you end up hitting a J, and then you think you're backing, and you're going J, 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 J. And it's so much easier to talk than to try to type. And then with a southern accent, which I don't think I have, it misspells my words or changes my words around. So it's like, when it gets really deep, I have to make a video. All right. So when God made everything, He made the angels, He made the universe, He made the planets, He made all of us. Okay, we're all made from God in God's image. But you had the Adam and Eve incident where Satan appeared to Eve as a serpent. And this, I'm not going to get into the whole thing of it because I think the bishop explains it much better than I ever will. And if you haven't listened to the bishop, please listen to the bishop. I believe it is his Global Spiritual Network, and follow his videos because he is a very knowledgeable. He spent many years going over this stuff, and I haven't. I just get to what God tells me and how I hear it, and then I interpret it. But I always do my own research to help me understand what I'm hearing or seeing, and this is how I found these other people over the years, and I continuously find new people. And I listen to them, and then like, okay, this is what that vision meant, or this is what he was telling me, and this is what it meant. And it like clicks, if that helps you understand. I'm a light worker, yes. And I have a lot of knowledge because I get a lot of my knowledge from my past lives that I am now waking up to and I'm remembering. So I do have a lot of that knowledge from my past lives, but still doesn't make me an expert in certain fields. Yes, I am also psychic. I get visions, I hear things, and I just know things. But I think my knowing things comes from my past lives. I've always been a light worker, and I've come back as a light worker. And that would be another video for me to kind of explain that at another time. So it just goes back that far. And when the angels, when Lucifer wanted to take over, of course he brought angels with him. And when they came to the earth, this is where they found the human women beautiful, and they mated with them, and this is where you got your Nephilim. And what each of these angels did is they taught humans things that they didn't know. And if you kind of go back into your Greek mythology, you'll notice that there were people that traveled and taught them things. And so go back and re-listen to your Greek mythology. Go back, listen to the Bible stories. Go back and listen to the bishop, and then connect everything. That's the easiest way to do this. There's a lot of research that you have to do. You can't just listen and say, okay, well, that's how it is, because you're not going to comprehend it until you do your own research. So I'm teaching you how to do your research. And I did this a long time ago, a lot of this. I would watch a video, let's just say on Ancient Aliens, and they were just giving their perspective on different things. And you don't have to believe it. When I was like, well, wait a second. And then I went and bought a bunch of DVDs on the Greek gods. Then I would go back and buy the tape on that episode, and then I would listen to both of them. Now you have to incorporate the Bible in all of this, and you get a bigger picture. Do you understand how I'm trying to tell you how you do your research? It's not just going down one path. You have to look at several different things. You can even go back and listen to the Hindus when they're talking about it, and then you can go back into your Norse gods and listen to that and incorporate all of that. And you're going to be shocked, because it's just going to blow your mind. And that's just the easiest way to tell you. And I know you're going, what does this got to do with the fifth dimension? But I'm trying to get there. All right. So you had all of this knowledge that the fallen angels started teaching man. And these were some things that I guess maybe we weren't supposed to know, or maybe we didn't need to know. But what happened with a lot of this knowledge is not only did you have good people learning this, you also had the bad people learning this. Now, my understanding is that these fallen angels are now the demons. So they're not beautiful, angelic things anymore. They're very vile, evil things. They can never go back to heaven. And listening to videos, each of these angels were over certain different points. And even though they're not angelic anymore, these demons are still over these points. Now, something I do want to explain to you is that you come from the energy source. And if you've watched my videos, the energy source is God. You come from the energy source. So you see this ball, okay? Now just look at that. Now imagine lines coming down, okay? So you have humans, you've got trees, you've got the planet, you've got water, you've got the animals, okay? So you got all these lines going down. Now look at the lines going this way. So you've got the humans, the planet, the trees, the water, the animals. And you see how we're all connected, okay? This is because we all need each other to survive. Now, coming from the energy source means that, you've heard it, God can be everywhere. When you understand that God is in here, and that you are a light being yourself because you come from that energy source. This is a shell. It's a shell, okay? This is not who you are. Who you are is inside. This is why the eyes are so important. When you look into somebody's eyes, you can actually see who they are because the light shines through the eyes. Does this make sense? Bear with me. Okay. So, you've got good people and you have bad people, and then you've got some really terrible people. All right? The real terrible people understand all of these old teachings, that when the angels fell, they know all this, and they hide it from you. They tell you you're crazy, it's make believe. But because they follow not the energy source, the creator of everything, they follow Lucifer, and they believe him to be their God with a lower G, not a capital G. Okay, they believe him to be their God and they worship him. All right, they take all of this knowledge of how to manifest, which all of us can manifest. A lot. It's just so much stuff. It's so deep. I'm trying to be gentle and to make it sound where you can understand it well. Well, they have all these things. They also understand the light that's in you, and they understand what is pure and what is unpure. So children are very pure, and why they are pure is because they have not actually done things in this lifetime to taint their souls. And that sounds terrible, but it's just kind of the best way for me to explain it. As we grow up, we do stupid things. Let's say we start doing drugs, or we start drinking, or maybe we have relationships before we're married. Maybe we, are mean to people because we think it's funny, because we don't realize. So that's kind of what I mean by tainted. A child is just innocent. A child is going to just say what's on their mind, and they don't know that it's good or bad. They're just being honest, and then you're like scolding them. Don't say that. Well, they're being honest. It comes honestly. There's like, I don't like that, or that person's ugly. Well, maybe they're not just saying ugly as in their appearance. Maybe they're saying their spirit is ugly, because remember, as a child, they're very innocent, so they're still able to connect clearly with the energy source. So just because they say someone's ugly, maybe they're not talking about their appearance. Maybe they're talking about their personality, who they actually are on the inside. And yes, if you are that way, that is ugly. Not physically ugly. It is spiritually ugly. And maybe that's what children are talking about. Animals are very pure. All right? All they do is they eat, sleep, and poop, honestly. All right? They do not judge. They do not care. If they love you, they will die for you. All right? And that's any animal, just even a cat. I have been in my own experiences with cats that have fought off people. All right? And they will. Cats are very, very protective. If you've never had a very protective cat, you just haven't had the right cat. Cats can be very protective. They will die saving you. They really will. They're precious, precious animals. They're just so misunderstood. Dogs will die defending you. I have a duck. And now I'm not saying a duck would die defending me, because I've never had that experience yet with a duck. But I do know that I was very tired, and when I was trying to bring her up, I had her in the house a lot, and I wanted to go to sleep, and she was fussing about something, so I stuck her in the bed with me. And she could sense that I was tired, so she crawled up on my back, and she laid there. And as I was drifting off, you know how you kind of like you're in and out, and the cats would jump on the bed, and she would peck at them. Because a lot of times the cats want to sleep on me, but they'll keep me up because they get on my head, or they'll lay on my face, or they're licking me, or they're trying to bite my toes. Well, the duck wouldn't let the cats near me, and I slept because the duck was kind of like protecting me so I could sleep. And if you were ever around me, my cats lay with the ducks. They eat with the ducks. They play with the ducks. So it's not that the duck didn't like the cat. The duck was taking care of me in her own little duck way. And I know that sounds really stupid, but that's just how animals are with me. I'm very connected to the planet, the plants, the animals. Um, and so this is why animals act differently around me than maybe they do other people. So what I'm getting at is they understand that animals are pure and that children are pure. So this is why animals and children are usually really abused bad in certain rituals, because of the purity of their blood. Now, do know a lot of these foul, evil demons drink blood. It's because they want that life force that is in us, and this is what they survive on. They've also taught humans that by drinking this blood and getting the life force and taking your gland out that is here, and this is a very important gland, that they can get energy, they can get power, they can stay youthful, and this is what they crave. All right, so this makes them very, very evil. So what they want to do is keep us in the third dimension so they can control us. All right, so they can do what they want to do, keeping us out of the loop with their knowledge, which I don't want all that knowledge, all right? I don't. I want the knowledge that I get from God, all right? But I'm trying to, like I said, I'm trying to explain this in very easy layman terms so you can kind of understand. They don't want to share what they know. They don't want to share their power. They don't want to share their money. They don't want to share anything because you are beneath them, okay? They think they're better than you because they have all this. What they're not understanding is they will never be fulfilled. They will never feel the love and the fulfillment that comes from light, because darkness, when it fills you, is empty, where light is more full. It's the best way to kind of explain it. This is why people that are rich make more money, and they demand more money, and they raise their prices so you pay more for their products, because they're greedy, because there's never enough, because they can't get enough, because it doesn't feel that whole. Because look at black as nothing, okay? Like you just stick your hand through it, there's nothing. You're doing this, okay? Where if you go into the light, you feel, and there's something there. So when they're full of this blackness that is empty, that is nothing, there's nothing to feel that hole here. So they have to take objects like money, cars, houses, and try to stuff that in there to feel, to fill that hole, like you're patching a hole in your wall, and you're stuffing stuff in there, and then you put your stuff on there, and then you pave it, and then you paint it, and the hole is full. Okay, kind of look at it like that. Oh, my eye is just so sorry. That's kind of how that is, but it doesn't matter how much stuff they stuff in there, it just doesn't fill that hole. The hole keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and they get uglier and meaner and hateful. Where people that are full of light, the more light that is in them, the more caring, the more loving, and the more giving they are. It's not that they want your money. They would rather just give you their money. It's like the total opposite. Let me try to get this cat off me. She gets heavy, but she'll jump back on me in a minute, and that's Gitsy. So they want you to stay in this dimension so they can control you, so they can keep you, I want to say, in the dark, so they can keep you where you don't have all this knowledge, because they want it all for themselves, because they're greedy, because they're hateful, because they're ugly. So when you hear someone say they can't stop what is coming, they're not only talking about the changes that are coming politically, they're also talking about spiritually. Because we're going to ascend to the fifth dimension. And they're not. Okay? They're not going to do it. They're not going to ascend. So by trying to hold you back literally, by keeping you angry, by keeping you depressed. You're staying here in this third dimension, and they're trying to hold you. But there are many of us who woke up. And I've always said, as soon as I started getting the political visions and the way that the world is going visions, the first thing I said, it's like a veil over your face, and you have to pull it back. And a lot of people thought I was crazy, but more and more people have woken up, and they're using the same words that I did, almost 7 years ago. I can't believe it's been just about that long. Cat. Oh my God. I do this without paperwork, and I do it from memory, and I try to do this from my heart. So, by holding us here, they have control over us, and they think that they're better, right? Okay. But as we ascend, they lose their grip on us because we've learned this doesn't matter. I don't need that car. I have another car. I have a bicycle. My husband has a car. My best friend has a car. I'm just using these as examples. I don't need that couch. No one ever comes over anyway. I sit on the chair. Why do I need that couch? It's just taking up room. And you start realizing that you don't need all these material things. That's because you're cleaning. You're getting ready to ascend. Now, I was talking to somebody while I was at work today because the Lord just, woof. I started crying. I really did. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful feeling. And when this happens to me, I have to just grab the first person. And I had someone that I've never really talked to. And he said, thank you. He said, that was very deep, and I want to thank you for sharing that with me. He says, I'm honored that you shared that with me. But that's who I am. When God speaks to me, when I get visions, I share them. I have to. And I'll go into that vision here soon. But I'm trying to baby steps to help people who don't understand yet. And then ones who understand, you're probably like, come on, get to it. Just bear with us, because what we're doing is we're teaching. And not everybody's at the same place yet. Some of us are here, some of us are here, some of us are way over here. And some of us can go in and out of the fifth dimension. I actually believe I walked into the fifth dimension, and I didn't know it till today. And that's why I cried. And I will explain that to you. So, you start to change. You start to see things. It's like breaking up the matrix. You know, you're like, it's like the computer or the TV, like, and you start to kind of see through it. You start to, wait a second, you're like, wait a second. That doesn't make sense to me. Why can he do it and I can't? Why are they telling me to do this when it doesn't go with this? And you start to question, and then you start to research, and then you start to find other people that feel the same way you do. And then you start making your own decisions. You're waking up. You start remembering, well, wait a second, that's not right. Why are they doing this? Things start to resonate with you. That's waking up. Now, just because you're waking up does not mean that you're ready to ascend, because you're still in the third dimension. There's levels that you're going to get to before you get there. Now, you will start realizing as you're waking up that meditation is a very important thing that you need to do. And even though I don't have a little place where I can sit down and quiet because I have a lot of animals, I usually do it right before I go to sleep. And that's when I talk to God and I ask Him to send me in my dreams, let me feel something, let me hear something. More than most times, it's when I wake up in the morning after I've slept and I'm on my way to work, is usually about where I get zapped with words. And it's not like a whole sentence, it's like words. And then I get on the phone and I start doing my research to figure out what those words mean, where they came from, and then that's how I interpret my visions or what I hear, if that makes sense. So a lot of times I get mine when I wake up. But I do sometimes have vivid dreams. So, as you start questioning things and you're researching, you're waking up. And we congratulate you and we want you to continue to do your research because, like I said, there's different levels that you're going to get to. You're also, your senses are going to get heightened. You're going to actually, you're going to look at people, and the first thing you're going to do, like I said, is you're going to look in the eyes because you're going to want to read that person. And don't think you're weird, because this is where the energy flows through. You can see it in their eyes. So if someone's squinting and they're kind of got like red veins in their eyes and they got a really, smile, you usually are like, there's something wrong with that person. That's not normal. And you will see that. When I was at the flea market at my table, a lady came past my table, and because of who I am, I'm going to talk to everyone, and I started to talk to her, telling her what I had. And the first thing I looked at was her teeth. Now you're probably going to say, well, Jackie, you don't have great teeth. Well, yeah, I know. It has something to do with everybody in my family has almost the same amount, the same teeth. It's just something that runs on my father's side of the family, the teeth that we have. But I'm not saying I have great teeth. But these teeth looked more like, I want to say like lizard teeth, or not vampire. They were just, teeth didn't look right to me. And I wasn't looking at the color or you see, she brushed her teeth. It was just when she talked to me, her teeth looked lizardly like they were kind of. So, for those of you who understand that there are people who are lizards, will understand why this kind of threw me off. And I'm looking at it and I'm asking myself in my head as I'm talking to her, is this a lizard? But anyway, she was nice and she said, no, I'm not interested. She said, but thank you. And then she smiled. And when she did, half my crystals on my table flew off the table. I have a chart with all the chakras telling you the different crystals for that. That flew off the table. And she just moved. And I knew what happened. She didn't touch the table. I didn't touch the table. The energy touched the table and was telling her to go away. And she did. She went away. So that told me that I was probably on the right thing. Maybe she wasn't a lizard. Maybe she was just evil. Or maybe she practiced dark magic. But there's something wasn't right with her. And the booth that was next to me, there was a woman shopping, and she says, I saw that with my eyes, Jackie. She says, I can't believe what I saw. She said, it's like it picked up and flew across the table. Now, some of you are going to say, well, that's impossible. But if you've ever been around me, impossible things happen all the time. And all I could do was laugh. I said, it didn't like her. I'm very protected because I do put my armor of God on. I'm protected. I walk with Jesus. I hold Jesus' hand and I talk to him continuously. And I ask St. Michael to spread his wings over and protect me. Because being a light worker and going down this path, I have seen some pretty creepy things. Like I did see a demon look at me. And it was like he was telling me, I know you can see me and I want to let you know I know it. And even though he can't hurt me, it was really weird to sit there and go, is there a demon over there in my doorway? But he couldn't come to me because he was in the dark and it was dark over there. Realize that these demons cannot stand light. So this is why light is so important, This is where you get the horror stories, when the lights go off, the monsters come from under the bed and they come out the closet. And this is where you need to pay more attention to your children, because they haven't learned yet their abilities and try to shut them off. So they will see things in the dark. I used to see things in the dark. I used to see ghosts. I would see people that looked like the pilgrims almost would line up and would go into my mother's bedroom, and I would lay there and just look at them, and then sometimes they would turn and look at me, and they would just go in there, and I have no idea what was going on. I had another time where I laid in the bed and the ceiling had a gigantic cross on it. And even though the lights from where the ceiling and the walls meet would move, the cross on the ceiling never moved. So I knew that was God. But I thought God was taking me away. I would see other things in the dark. And some things I can remember, but I distinctly remember the ghost. And it was like a white bluish color, these ghosts. And I could see their hair, the little pilgrim things that they had on their head. I saw people that looked medieval in that time frame. I mean, they were just lined up. And this was almost every night. They were lined up and they would go into my mother's bedroom. I never saw anything leave, but I would see them go in there. I don't know what that was. As I got older, I stopped seeing that. Well, maybe I just haven't been somewhere where they're lining up and going places. But I want you to understand why kids get scared in the dark. And don't tell them they watch too much TV, because remember, they have not been tainted yet. So they don't understand. They just know they see something, and when they tell you, you take it as they're having a nightmare. Oh, you're just having a nightmare. Oh, you're just doing this. Oh, blah, blah, blah. But you've got to listen to these children. And sometimes that's why they just need a nightlight. And once they learn what they have, or they're more able to explain to you, and you're more open-minded to it, then you're more able to help them. So please understand that with small children. Remember, they have all their gifts. They have telepathy, most probably. Some of them are able to communicate with animals or other people, or maybe even dead people. Some of them can see things. Some of them are actually able to do things. So don't just take it that it's their imagination, they're watching too much TV, or you don't understand. It's because you forgot. You chose to forget. As a light worker, I accepted it, but I didn't really talk about it too much. But I knew I was different. I just didn't tell people all the time. And that's just how I was. Even in my teenagers, it was really crazy. My teenagers, I guess because my hormones were trying to balance out, so my gifts were like all over the place. And it was just really crazy. Now that I'm older, I'm learning that I'm getting more gifts because I'm awakening even more. I'm going up in my levels, and when I get to a certain point, I should be able just to go to that fifth dimension, and then I won't come back to the third dimension. But I want to take as many people with me. So, what is the fifth dimension? In the fifth dimension, like I said, the people that are in the third, especially your evil, vile, nasty, Satanist people, will not be going to the fifth dimension. They will be stuck in this dimension here. All right? So this is where you're going to get the next 1,000, 10,000 years of God, because where we're going, they're not coming. This is why in my visions I kept saying there'll be no hate, there'll be no stealing, there'll be no worries, because the evil will not have gone with us. We will literally be living in the light. The third dimension will still have all that. And there are people who have not waken up that are going to be stuck in that, and they're going to suffer. Now, in movies, they call it the and I lost the word. It just disappeared. The rapture, sorry, the rapture, where you're just sitting down and people just disappear. I don't know if it would be like that, like you're sitting down having a conversation, they just vanish on you. Um, I believe it will be more as a walking through something. Now, in my vision, and like I said, I didn't realize I went into the fifth dimension. I thought it was just showing me the future, which is the fifth dimension. So that's kind of crazy, but bear with me. At the end of seeing everything that I saw, I walked through the dark where it started to get lighter, and then when I got into this bright light, it turned into like a warm light, and I'm standing on a cliff, and I'm looking out over, and it was beautiful, the colors, and then I felt like I started to be hugged, and I started crying, and then I came out of it. That was the fifth dimension. And I didn't know it till today when God told me, Jackie, you were in the fifth dimension. And it just snapped. And I was like, I was there. I can't explain. I'm going to start crying. I can't explain to you what it feels like not to have any worries, not to have any pain, not to have any stress, because that's where we're going. Now, through other videos that I did find about this, there was a woman who was talking with people while they were in a state, and they were able to tell you about the fifth dimension. And some of them were saying that our bodies would change, that we would look taller because the light would shine more, and that we're going to be different. Well, I already know that because we're going to go back more into a basic lifestyle where you're not going to want all of these things in your home. You're not going to want things that don't matter. It don't matter. TVs will not matter. You're not even probably going to watch TV because it doesn't matter. Why do you need to watch TV? You're going to want to absorb everything around you because everything's going to smell better. Everything's going to be more vibrant. And you're going to have a better connection with nature because you're going to understand them and they're going to understand you. I'm not going to say that like this cat is just going to start talking to me with its mouth. You may hear a cat talk to you here because of your gland here. But the cat's not going to sit down and have a conversation with you and go get a cup of coffee and sit with you. It's not going to be like that. You may look at the cat and then hear the cat talk. Now, when I have heard animals talk to me, I heard a duck talk to me, and when he talked, I'll try to repeat the way it was. Like he was like, brat, bop, brat, boss. That's how he sounded in my head. And I looked at this duck. I said, did you just ask me for some breakfast? I said, hold on a second. But that's how I heard the duck talk to me. So I'm not saying that that's how all animals will sound, but that's how the duck sounded to me when he talked to me. Now, I have heard cats talk to me, but I heard them in a meowing type of state. And then I understood what that meow meant. And I've only had 1 or 2 cats that I've been able to do that with. So I can read animals very well. I can look at them and then know what they're thinking. But as far as them talking to me, I've only had the duck and a couple of cats. And the duck was hilarious. The way the duck talked was funny. It was trying to say breakfast, but it was bought fast. It's funny. But these are the things that you're going to experience in the fifth dimension. Animals will talk to you. And if you look at animal videos that I post on my Facebook page, I'm constantly showing you how these animals are now more communicating with us. Wild animals are coming up to people and wanting to play with them, and people are appreciating that they're wild and they're not trying to tame them. They're taking them as a wild animal and appreciating that the animal comes and sits with them while they're reading a book, or whatever they're doing, because we're going into the fifth dimension. And yes, these animals are going with us. They will be going into the fifth dimension. This is why it's so important to be kind to animals, be kind to small children, because you don't understand, but you will learn quickly that they feel pain, they're smart, and they can and will love you. And their love is different than a human love, because sometimes when you love another human, you fall out of love, you get mad at them. They never stop loving you. It is such an unconditional love, like a small child. It's an unconditional love. And they would do anything for you, where people in this third dimension see someone being raped in a street and turn around and walk away, where an animal may not even know this woman and attack a man, because that animal knows that she needs help and they love her. And I can go on with stories of people surfing and dolphins coming and saving them. There's a story of a Doberman that fell in a canal, and he was in there for hours. I want to say they're estimating almost 15 hours, and he couldn't get the traction to get out of the canal. And some dolphins were swimming by, and they saw that the dog was stuck. So the pod started splashing water, and the people that heard this was like, what is going on? They left their homes to go outside. And when they went toward where the noise was, this is how they found the dog struggling, trying to get out. They had to call the fire department to get in there. And everybody said if it had not been for those dolphins, that dog would have died. That I want you to understand what I'm trying to tell you. They have such an unconditional love. They're so close to God. And I've gotten in arguments with religious people before, and they're like, well, they're stupid animals, Jackie. No, because you don't understand them does not make them stupid. They hear God. And it has been told through stories in the Bible where animals acted upon what God needed them to do. And I'm going to leave it at that. You look it up. You read the stories. But they do. They hear God, and they understand what God is. And they do God's bidding. So this is very important to understand, that this is why they're so pure. Like small children can hear God. They can hear the angels. They can hear the singing. They can see them. They're so pure. So that's why they're tortured more than, let's say, someone maybe like me. They would just want to kill me, because they don't want me to explain to you things, because they, like I said, they don't want the knowledge. Now, I'm not saying they're coming out to kill me. I'm just using that as an example, okay? So drinking my blood and eating my pineal gland would not give them the same as a small child. And I know that just sounds crazy, but just believe me that children are the purest things, children and animals. But in the fifth dimension, we won't have to worry about that anymore, because we're going to be able to see people. We're going to see their light. We're going to feel their light. You're going to see the auras. You're going to feel the auras. And everything is going to make sense. But there are steps besides just waking up that you have to do to get into this fifth dimension. You have to open your mind. You have to do your research. You have to let go. Let go. And that's hard for some people to do. When I tell you that there's just things that you're not going to be able to control, and you're going to sit down and you're going to worry about them. You're going to worry about your bills. You're going to worry about how this. You're going to worry about, what am I going to eat? How am I going to put gas in my car? And you worry and you stress yourself and you make yourself sick. That is part of Satan. All right? That is him controlling you. And that is keeping you pulled into this third dimension. When you finally say, you don't control me anymore, devil. I rebuke you. You do not control me. I am with Jesus. I stand with God. Lord, I am giving myself to you. All of my problems, everything. It's in your hands because I know I cannot control it. Only you can control. Only you can give me what I need when I need it. And when you finally do that, the stress will melt off of you, and you will find somehow or another a $10 bill you'll find it in your pocket. There's your gas money. Somebody will say, hey, let's go get some lunch. Now you've eaten for the day. This is how God works. And you're going to say, no, that's a coincidence. There is no such thing as a coincidence. No such thing as a coincidence. God gives you what you need when you need it. Okay? He's not going to give you things that you don't need. He's only going to give you what you need. And this is what you have to understand. And when you start really understanding that, you're going to say, well, do I really need 50 trillion pillows on my couch? No. Why do you need it? You can only lay on one pillow, maybe 2, 3 at a time. Right? You kind of see where I'm going with this. So things that you think you need, you don't need. And you're going to be wanting to get rid of it. And when you get rid of that stuff, you're getting rid of clutter, which makes you more clear, which makes you focus more. You're clean. You don't have all that stress. And when you can get rid of that stress, you're going to start getting up higher in these levels. And when you get there, you'll be able to go into that 5th dimension. This is where we're heading, people. We are going into this 5th dimension. Some people will not get there. Some people don't want to go there. And there's some people who can't go there. All right? So I want as many people to understand what this 5th dimension is. And you're saying, well, I still don't understand what it is. It's like the planet separating. So you have this planet and this planet, but they're both Earth. But the 5th dimension is going to be beautiful, where the 3rd dimension, it's just going to shrink and crumble and probably just disappear. Because they're abusing the land, they're abusing the animals, they're abusing the people, and they're sucking the lifeline out of everything. They're just draining it because they want it for themselves. And it's just shriveling. But we're going to walk through a doorway, and we're going to go into this other dimension. And it's technically the same but different, because you'll have the same house, you'll have your same look to you, but it will feel different. And when you're in there, you're not coming back to this dimension, this planet. You will be like in a new earth. This is why I'm saying that the earth is shifting, the energy shifting, and it's moving into there. And I want to say, like, the planet is just going to kind of like separate. Like, okay, this is an example. You know, when you're looking at yourself and you see a shadow, it's your shadow. So imagine kind of like the earth and the shadow. And as it's one, but it's two different things. I guess that's a kind of an easy way to explain it. But anyway, it'll like just kind of, and you'll be in the 5th dimension while everybody else is in the 3rd dimension, and it's just gonna, because they're just sucking all of the good out of there, and all we're going to be over here, and it's not, they're not going to be there. It's kind of like, I've always said it's like a balance. When you're not balanced, everything is off. So when you have more bad, negative energy, and the good energy's down here, you're kind of mad, angry, broke, stressed, cussing, yelling. But as things start balancing out, you feel wibbly wobbly. But when you get, you're like, ooh, this feels good, because you're balanced. So you want to be balanced spiritually, and you want to be balanced inside with your food. So this is where I'm going to get to the herbs now. And I have many videos on herbs. So let me explain to you what the herbs do. One, the herbs come from the planet. Remember, God gave us everything we need, and He gave us food to eat. But as we're going into this fifth dimension, it's not going to be a great ride. Now, maybe some of us will cross over before others, because that's what this energy shift is going on right now with like all of these moons that haven't come, stars and planets that have been lining up that haven't lined up for a long time. It's because we're starting to shift into this dimension. So eating properly and taking care of yourself to cleanse the inside and cleanse your spiritual side is going to help you go into the fifth dimension. This is where herbs are going to play a part. You want to be lighter. You're not going to need to eat 5 times a day. You're not going to need to eat steak every day. You need to cleanse and balance your body out. So you need to put good stuff in and stop putting all the bad stuff in. Now, I'm not saying steak is bad, but you don't have to overdo it. But you want to start getting some of the better stuff in. Now, in my store, Jackie's Crystals and More, I am starting to incorporate selling herbs. If you don't follow me on Facebook, or you don't have Facebook and you would like to buy herbs from me, you can message me here. I take cash, and I can take a credit card payment. I will mail my herbs out, and I do have other videos about some herbs. I don't know if I made any videos about exactly what I put in mine. I think I did, or I tried. I can't remember. I know I tried to make a couple of videos, and YouTube just wouldn't put them on. I don't know why. But if you would like to do that, I'm selling mine for $7. It's at least 2 weeks worth. And that's because some people buy these big containers and they don't go through it. And then before they know it, it's the next month and the company's already sent you another container. Or you just don't stick with it and it goes bad. So I'm only doing a small bag, which will last you for 2 weeks, 3 weeks maybe. And this way, it's up to you if you want to use them, and you don't have to. We're not going to do reoccurring. I'm not going to automatically send you a next bag in 2 weeks. You will get with me, and then if you want another bag, we'll do it that way. So yes, I will mail. I also do sell crystals as well, so I can do that as well. You just have to get with me or find me on Facebook. I do not have a web page yet because it's kind of expensive, and to find someone to design a page for you if you have no idea how to do that, it takes a lot doing it. So I'm slow moving into that, but I do have it through the Facebook, so you can find me there. There also is, I have my work phone number that I use just for my store is there as well. Now, you don't have to buy anything from me. Please don't take it. I'm just giving you an option if you're wanting to try to start maybe going with a smaller bag, starting getting your body used to it. You're just going to take mine. It's all powder. It's blueberry. It's noni powder. It's collagen. It's moringa leaf. It's mullein. And it's all powdered, and you're just going to shake it up in a water bottle. Here, I got mine. Hold on. You just shake it up. Like so. And you drink it. Now, you can add real lemon juice, you can add real lime juice, you can add some honey, or if you really want to cheat, you can go get some of those sugar-free packets of berry flavor or whatever and put some of that in there and drink it. That's totally up to you, but do not use regular sugar. I mean, that's just defeating the whole purpose, all right? And you're just going to use water. I would suggest either getting some of this spring water, or if you use a water pitcher, and make sure that you're clean water, because you're wanting to put clean in you, not contaminated water back in your body, and you will lose weight, you will feel better, you will feel light, you will get healthier, your skin will get healthier. Believe it or not, I don't have any makeup on because I've been rubbing on it, but I'm in my 50s, and I'll get closer so you can see. I don't have a lot of wrinkles. Now, I've got a few things. I got a cat scratch here really bad, but I don't have a lot of wrinkles. Not at all. And my hair is very long, as you can tell, and it's thick and healthy for a over 50-year-old woman. Um, I just wanted to share that with you in case you didn't know. And this is what herbs can do for you. You don't have to go off and drink baby's blood to stay youthful, to have healthy hair, to feel good. That is an evil, vile thing. God already gave you what you need to live long, to be healthy, to feel better, and that is herbs. That is the difference. So I want you to understand that. You don't have to do those vile, evil things. You have to give your life to the light. You have to live a certain way, and you'll be happier. You really will. So I hope that kind of explains when you start doing the herbs and you start more meditating and talking to God, you will hear God. He will talk to you in his own way. You will notice that when you need something, sometimes you won't even have to ask. He'll give you things that you need. And you're going to feel so much better. You'll probably notice that you'll just start cleaning your house, getting rid of things that you don't need. You'll notice that you'll be connected to a better group of people, because light will attract light, not evil. It will repel it. So people that are bad for you will leave. And when this starts to happen, don't get upset about these people. They were not doing anything good for you in the first place. All right? Because if they were, they wouldn't leave. Kind of like the lady at my table. The crystals, the energy just pushed her away, letting her know that she was not welcome there. And she did not stay in that flea market very long. There was another woman that was with her who was not the same. And this woman that happened to went and got in her car and was fussing at the woman, telling her, "Come on, you've got to leave now." It was like she just had to get out of the whole flea market. Only one time that's happened to somebody. I'm not saying if you come to the flea market that I'm at, that if you're a bad person or maybe you've done something bad in your life, that my crystals are going to fly at you or something. That just please don't think that way. There was something not right with that particular woman. I just don't know what it was. And believe it or not, the woman that saw my thing, she actually has her booth too. She was standing at another booth, and she buys the herbs from me. She's listened to the things that I've done, and she hugged me and she says, "Jackie," she says, "I feel better. I feel like a weight is off me." She says, "I've got this awesome job now. I'm making great money, and I don't have to work graveyard anymore." And I told her it's because she's waking up and she's allowing the light in, and that's what I am trying to do. Now, I'm not saying if you listen to my videos or you buy something from me that your life is just going to change for the better. You have to manifest that. You have to want it, and God has to say yes, that you should have these things. So if you want good in your life, you have to put out good. Does this make sense? Karma is a real thing. Whatever you put out in the universe comes back at you. So when you do bad things and you're mean to people, you're going to attract mean people doing bad things to you. And then you get into this rut where you think, well, I deserve it. I deserve this. No, you don't. You just have to accept the light and work with the light and put out light. And when you put out good and positive energy comes back, which could be in form of a good job, which could be in form of less stress, which could be in the right man in your life or the right woman in your life. But you have to change. You have to manifest it, accept it, and realize what is going on, and then do it. And when you start to do these things, you'll start elevating in your energy level, and then you'll be able to go into the fifth dimension. Now, is there a time limit to go into the fifth dimension? I have not heard. I just know that people are going to start ascending into the fifth dimension. There's possible that maybe you won't see these people, kind of like the rapture, but I'm not for sure. I just know, as stepping into the fifth dimension myself, what I felt, and I didn't realize that that was the fifth dimension. I thought it was a vision of what was to come, which is what is to come, but I didn't realize it was the fifth dimension. It's kind of hard to explain because the way that the vision went. And you're probably saying, well, what was that vision? I've never seen any of your other videos. It's when Donald Trump came down the escalator. I was automatically like, and I saw him raise his hand and was sworn in as president. Then I saw him swear in again as president, which was twice. Then I saw another person raise his hand to swear in, but I could not see the face. The face was blurred out, but I saw salt and pepper hair, tall man, probably in his 50s, around that age, but I couldn't see his face. I have an idea who it is, but I have not been allowed to see the face yet, and I still have not seen the face. And when God is ready to reveal that person to me, I will be able to see the face. Then I saw that the vision started to get dark, which told me that things would get bad. And then they got bad, and they got really bad. And then it slowly lights up to where things get better. And then that's where I walked through that kind of dark thing. And then I walked into the fifth dimension, which, like I said, I didn't realize what the fifth dimension. And that's how the vision went. Then I had another vision not long after that where everything was in black and white, where a man and a woman were sitting on a bed, and she told him, they were talking about her being, she says, I'm pregnant, what are we going to do about the baby? And he got mad at her and said, we can't have this baby. We don't have a license. And I kind of snapped out of it, which told me that if we don't do with the light, that we could actually go under some type of socialism, communism, that they will control every aspect of your life, and even having children. So if you would have to buy a license, and if they approved you, then you would have a license to drive. You would have a license to go to work. You would have a license to have children. And if you didn't have these licenses, you were not going to be allowed to do these things, and you would be like over here. But these people that buy these licenses have to pay a lot of money to live a certain lifestyle. And that's how the government would be, taking more and more and more of your money, controlling every aspect of your life. Now, some of you would say, Jackie, that's the most stupid thing I've ever heard in my life. You live in the United States. How could they control you into making you get a license so you can have a family? And I say, did you wear a mask? Did you accept that free donut to go get that V? Do you see what they're doing? They're controlling you. And you wanted a donut. There was a community set up at a church near the flea market, and they were giving away free food. But in order to get the free food, you had to get the V. So people were lined up for miles to get the free food and got the V. There are other places to get free food, people. But these people don't see it that way. It's because they're controlled. And they control you through the TV. That's why you have to turn the TV off. It is very important to turn that TV off and quit listening to it, quit looking at it. It is a magic box. And when I say magic, it's because they're casting spells on you and you don't even realize it. They're keeping you in the third dimension, which is they control you. They don't want you to know the truth. They don't want you to know anything. They tell you, oh, you think you're seeing visions. No, you're not. You're crazy. When they know darn good and well that you can, and that you are working with the light when you're working with the Lord. So they tell you, no, you're crazy. You can't do that. That's only in the movies. And then you say, oh, okay, I'm crazy. And then you suppress it. because they tell you to. So do you understand what I'm saying? When you go into the fifth dimension, no one's going to want you to suppress anything. We're going to want you to be able to talk to God. We're going to go, what did he tell you today? I mean, instead of, what did so-and-so wear, who is so-and-so sleeping with, you're going to be saying, what did God tell you today? Well, he told me this. He told me how to make brownies. I don't know. But you kind of see where I'm going here. That the life is going to be so much better in the fifth dimension. Things that you think are important are not. And you're going to realize that. And when you get more and more there, when you realize, you're like, well, I can't control that. What are you going to do? Shoot me? Go ahead. I can't stop you. I mean, that's just where you're going to get. And I'm not saying you're not going to care about your life. What I'm saying is you're just going to let go of things that you cannot control. And you're just going to be like, your boss is going to be like, I need this done, this done, and this done, and this done. And you're thinking, okay, that's going to take 20 hours. There's only an 8-hour shift today. And you're going to be like, you know what? I don't care. I'm going to do what I can do. I'll leave the rest of it for the next day because there's nothing I can do. I can't do 20 hours worth of work in 8 hours, and I'm not going to do it. I'm going to do what I can do. And you're going to be at peace with that, okay? Whether or not he's going to be at peace with it, you're going to be at peace with it. And you're going to be like, whatever. He's just yell at me because I'm just going to sit here and stare at you. I mean, that's kind of where I'm going. I'm not saying you don't care. And in fact, you do care, but you're not going to let that caring defy you. You're not going to let that weigh you down. You're going to be at ease with it. And that's what I mean. Where I'm not saying we're all going to be lazy people not caring about anything. Oh, I'm not going to clean my house because I don't care. It don't matter. That's not what I'm saying. So please don't take that out of context with that. I hope this kind of explained a little bit. Like I said, it's a little deep. I try to be at a really low level of explaining it to you. I will continuously post other videos for people to look at. If you don't follow me on Facebook, you can. I don't mind. Or if you just want to continue to watch videos that I post here, that's great. If you want to share my videos, that's even more wonderful. Or if there is a video and you're like, Jackie, can you give me that video? I will message you back on here and I'll give you the link of the video. I watch many things. I get my information from a well-rounded thing. I just don't listen to this or just this. I listen to everything, and that is putting the puzzle together, because when you listen to me, that's wonderful. And thank you. Thank you so much for listening to me. I appreciate that. That just touches my heart. But you have to listen to other people as well. And then you take a little bit from me, you take a little bit from them, and then you start putting it together and you see the picture like, I got it. And that's what you do. So that's why I watch other videos, so I can go, that's what God meant. Oh, that's what that vision was. That's what that word meant. See? Because I'm still learning. And that is what we're here to do. Right now, we are supposed to learn, we're supposed to wake up, and we're supposed to help others. And that is what our life is. They've been telling you all the time, and he wanted to know why he was born. Well, let me tell you why you were born. You were born because you chose to come back at this particular time with the parents that you chose. And you chose the life that you are leading. But you need to wake up. That is what you're supposed to do while you're here. Not be a slave, not suffer, not be murdered, not murdering other people. All right? That is why you're here. That is the meaning of life. The meaning of life is to learn and to help others learn and to grow spiritually. Okay? That is the meaning of life. There it is. Simple. They try to make it like this big thing that no one can figure out. That is the meaning of life, all right? To learn and to grow and to connect with the energy source. That is the meaning of life. And once you understand that and you get it, you will be a beautiful, well-rounded, happy, healthy person. And that's just the best way I can explain it. There's just a lot of things, you're going to have to stop. You're going to have to stop drinking. You're going to have to stop taking all those drugs. You're going to have to quit smoking. And when you start doing that, you're thinking, oh, well, you're taking all my pleasures away. I like smoking these cigarettes. I like coughing up green gobs and smelling like an ashtray. Yeah. Really? Really? You like paying $5 to $10 for a pack of cigarettes when you could put gas in your car or buy something to eat or buy somebody something to eat. Yeah. You like getting cancer and to have chemotherapy and to have radiation done to you. That's what you're telling me? You really like that? You like smoking? Yeah. I like being healthy. I like my food to taste right. I like to breathe clean air. That's what I like. That's why I don't smoke. And you'll say, well, smoking's my right. If I want to do it, I can't. So my answer to you is, when you popped out of your mother's womb, did you have a cigarette in your mouth puffing away? No. That's because you're not supposed to smoke. You don't have to smoke. You chose to smoke. You chose to force yourself to endure that nastiness. Then you got addicted to it. So don't tell me you like smoking. It's your choice. Okay? Don't tell me that. Because you're killing yourself and you're killing others by doing that. And for people who are rude and think it's their right, I have a right too. I have a right for clean air, I have a right to breathe, and I have a right to live. And I also have the right to express my opinion. So if you don't like my rights, then don't shove yours in my face, and we'll get along fine. That's just how it is. You want to smoke, that's fine. I'm not going to tell you you can't smoke, but I will tell you you can't smoke in my home. You can't smoke in my car, because those are my things, and that is my space. Now, when we're in public, in a public spot, and there's smoking allowed, then I have to deal with it. But you don't have to blow it in my face in purpose and shove it in my face. All right? There's a difference. And those are the rights. So, I know that probably just offended about, 5 million people right now that I said that, but it's the truth. I don't shove my herbs or my crystals in your face. I don't shove my animals in your face. So don't shove your cigarettes in my face, and don't do it to other people that don't smoke. Okay? It's not about who's right or who's wrong. It's about respect and honoring other people's spaces. You chose your life. You chose your decisions. And that's the meaning of life, to learn. And if you're not learning from your mistakes and you're not learning anything, then you will most probably have to come back again and go read through what you're doing now. And if you don't like this round, then you're probably not going to like the second or the third round. So this is why it's important to make the right choices, so you don't have to come back and relearn. Do it right the first time, and you will be a happier, healthier, spiritual person. It's simple. It's very simple. And yes, they do not teach you that at church. I understand that. They don't teach you a lot of things they should teach you in church. And that's for another day. And we'll go over that as well. So I'm going to leave you with, hopefully I explained a little bit. Hopefully you enjoyed this. And please share if possible, if you want to. If you don't want to, you don't have to, because it's your choice. And nobody can make you do anything you don't want to do. Everything is your choice. They can threaten you, they can scare you, and they can manipulate you. But they can't make you. Remember that. That's important. So with that being said, have a blessed evening. Reach out to me if you have any questions or if there's something you want me to elaborate on, and I will. Just remember where we're heading, and I hope to see you in the fifth dimension. Like I said, I don't know when we're going. It's when we're ready, and I don't know how many people are going, but I hope as many as we can get. And if you've learned something here, continue to do your research, listen to other people that are talking about this, and educate others, because that's how we're going to win. And remember, this is a battle between good and evil. If you're watching this, you have most probably chose the side of light, and I thank you, and our Lord and Savior thanks you, and continue to spread light, because light makes more light, and the brighter we are, the demons cannot stand it. It melts them literally, and we will cast them back where they belong, under the rocks. So thank you, and good night.